Dís maríomh go léir agus fáilte roimh go GAA Gold an padchréile ina bheith míad na siar na cluichí móra ó bhliain áirithe idir Fell agus Amoint. Agus tá mí can tosnú ansa le 98 agus tá mé anna hásta fáilte chuirgadín clár ribh Joe Connolly a bhí mar chaptéin na Gaillimhe, Ger Power a bhí mar chaptéin Chiarí agus an creaaltóir Seán Bambranach, fáilte roimh go léir a bhuachalí. Joe, tasomid latsa, neidig seachto nevi galef treisha ve iglehe canish na hair na naikal chuinig, chain shiv, a fi sivan gar agus a boga bi corkig cleito go vistono an vlienshin sa clehe lachanish. Cada daharig in neidig ochto a hug beidir an winin breshidi chandolin shliar fad.
Well, scale ma na goni on being nation, no bishar green or a haim with seachto ni. Niro sagan korach mo jashamach. Ach an bí nation bhí me an na webrach bhí me leis na All-Stars agus bhí mu Kitty O'Shea's agus hí sa gúne agus bhí me gáilúdar Tony Hanaho agus Jimmy Keevan beirt líoch mór mílteach as blachí agus chum me góra le agus Tony Gamóhar agus anna charla má hinne agus dúirt me mar nua hofa chatin mar a bhí me céir dhéanas mud le dhé seo acu agus an rúdháin to win everything. Sin an dáchalé. Agus an nachtó beg nach rómud gafrad. Cholle cliffe dúchláne, cholle cliffe strethe an cmór san bóthíirden rómude. Chomud de seach go dtí cliffe leichanne an stre. Níach le urin agan an ag corp agus bhean cliffe an lá chéna. Ró Cuislan Gear All Ireland Club, ró connacht an Crívéirn, ró UCG Fitzgibbon, gon céad bliain le fada. So we must go seach sa saora agus an rá ocail Tony Hanaho win everything. Bhí sé sin agad agus sílam go chroise sin mion unan a go le seach sa saora agus bhí an féin winning agé agus an féin rodile nuair atá tú glyfic ceannis seachtó ní má hagan tú éis an bhí in is buntáistí iontacha agus rud dornach beidir bhí teanchar Babs Keaton Dodger síle nó hánig sé seach agin i seachtónnaí dáthir sé mion ómáíocht na Gaillimhe síle. Gus chulrad hánig leis an sin agus bhí mud set up go maith dermud le dheochtá.
So, Jan Vaughan, hí Cyril Farmer ránóir le Babs Keating in éidir seachtónnaí agus thug sé an job mór ag trocha bliain d'aois in éidir ochta. Chreid tosa mar ghaillimhach go múdíist créab na hair na bliain san.
Nílas ha mar chréid mar bhí nead gon bhíar in bolú seachtú ní muid bolú seachtú cúig muid. So stói gur muid a cuine war a hen gur an málachtar nó rudéig in a rénos agus ba bhéad limrach rán na cutiantach mar hééis an tíl bhí sé sin hééis se hecht as comórtas andíon go deo a gúig gomún. So da ríide stói nar híd muid go muid limrach. Dálinn scéil sul ducha níos sub fuide an blian se caite Bhí Joe mar eistú agus bhí sé mar Bull McCabe carnacht éigen agus marach, Jesus, Joe, tá tú an chosú leis an Bull McCabe. Can bulliste de chleig an na gcónaí.
Can Rossar
I should have read But tú canslan a bhean
All right, well, sure, big chance of going fechad right na clí amáis an Sarabad, but Ashromi the Nish Capel agus Thermi the Structure Power. Ger, you were, I suppose, having had your jousts with Dublin down the years from starting in that 75 final. Here we are in 1980. You've 2 in a row won. You're on the threshold now of winning a 3 in a row, and it's a long time since Kerry had won 3 in a row. You have to go back to the 30s and 40s. Was there extra pressure on you as captain coming into that year, do you think?
No, I don't think there was any great pressure on any of the Kerry captains in the All-Irelands that we won, like, you know. The only pressure I had at that day is because my speech was coming after Joe Connolly's speech. That was a famous speech. So I said to myself, say you couple of fucking and get
out of here.
Yeah. But no, it wasn't really like, you know, I think the pressure on the big day that day was because Bomber Liston got appendix the week before the match, and I was also injured the week before the match. So the pressure then, like, was, you know, I suppose missing Bomber was a big loss to us, like, you know.
All right, well, let's rewind a little bit to earlier in the season. Like I said, Tosomid Lenar Gade Mir is a Clehe Canish Nasraha Pella, August, the Shannon Idishin, Kiri, August Kirkig and Agichala Iborki Free.
Mick Spillane along with them. Jimmy Barry trying to break through. Mick Spillane attending him there very closely. Jimmy Barry is in. He's thrown it across the face of the goal mouth. Declan Barron. This is coming to John Allen, and that's the front forward has got it. Sean Walsh for Kerry to his midfield partner, Jack O'Shea. They've been so dominant in this game, and Jacko adding the point. Now 9-6, Kerry 3 ahead again. Declan Barron for Cork. Remember, he moved out to midfield in the first half. Jimmy Barry Murphy, he's trying to find, he does find him. This is John Allen. And it's a point despite the wave and the signal by Paddy Manny. John Allen, the scorer there. It's all over. We're the National League champions. It's all over. And the Cork players are gone wild with delight in the middle of the field. They're just gone crazy.
Yeah, that was the first time that that Cork had beaten you, I think, in 6 years or something like that, I think. But and a massive crowd, Jared. That was the other notable thing about that day. 39,000 people at a league final. What do you remember of it, or do you remember anything of it? I know Mick O'Dwyer had mixed views, didn't he, in relation to the league?
Yeah, I wouldn't say like the league finals and league matches. Mick O'Dwyer absolutely put no great emphasis on them. I think it was more the county board put emphasis on the league finals because it was a big money spinner. So if they got to the semi-finals, the finals, you know, it kind of helped for the following championship games, like, you know. But no, I think a lot of that Cork team changed. You would see the other match that came on after that, we moved on to the semi-final, like, and that was a great eye opener to us, like, you know, because it kind of drove us on. Because if you remember, we nearly had won every match in 1975 up. I think we went to 11 in a row, like, so I think that was a bit of an eye opener for us there, and it was good for Miko too that he could drive us a bit harder, like, you know. But no, I wouldn't remember much of that match, but I definitely remember we got to the semi-final then, not the semi-final, but the
Munster final, yeah.
But
well, we'll have a look at that one. That's the next one, I suppose. And as you mentioned, Kerry had, I mean, you were beating Cork every year in that Munster final. I think you did 11 out of 12. The famous 83 defeat was the only one that you lost out on that Tadhg Murphy goal. But let's have a look. Fechmi there sin. So Néideag, 8, Cléigh Canish na Moon, agus Kiri agus Cork reached.
But despite the weather, the supporters have been pouring into the stadium here for hours, long before the minor final started, in fact, and are packed into those stands and terraces on this exciting and dramatic occasion. Yet another confrontation between the keenest of all rivals in football. The clash of the champions in this Munster final. And Ogie Moran will take the free. That's got away from John Egan, it was, I think. Tadhg O'Reilly with the shot and the point. Jack O'Shea. John Egan into the hands of Owen List, and he must score. That was so easily done. Mike Sheedy. Oh, that's Ger Carr.
There's the goal for Ger.
That was such a chance. Oh, what a beautiful goal. Kerry are into another All-Ireland semi-final, and there in 7 weeks' time, they'll play the Leinster champions.
So business as usual, Ger. Back a comfortable enough win in the end there. That was actually your first championship match that year. I didn't realise that.
Yeah, I was looking. Yeah,
straight into the Munster final.
I was just looking up at the statistics last night and looking. We had no match up to that, like, you know. So I don't know what happened, but it worked out well for us. I think we played kind of good football that day, like, you know, just kind of all attacking for both teams did really, like, you know.
Very interesting, Gerard, that the 3 goals, 2 by the Bomber and 1 by yourself, were all scored by the hand, by the fist. That wouldn't be allowed now, of course.
Yeah, well, it wasn't by the fist either. You could palm it like that. Let me throw it into the net. Yeah.
Don't go there.
Well, I think as we look at more matches, you'll see an awful lot more goals like that. And as Sean Bond says, before we move on to the next game, Ger, which is the Connacht final, indeed, the Roscommon Galway game. Roscommon obviously went all the way to the final that year. Roscommon were a really, really good team that time, weren't they? They had 3 Connacht titles in a row, won prior to this. What did you know about them? And I suppose, how much of a challenge were they to set you later on in the year?
Yeah, well, I think we played them the year before in the All-Ireland semi-final. I think it was 78 or 79. We played them that time, and they had, like, Dermot Hurley was playing, John O'Gara was playing, the McManuses was playing. They had a great team at that time. So I think they were winning the Connacht as much as we were winning the Munster, like, you know. But no, when the day we met him, I suppose we'll come to the end of it, like. But they had great footballers at that time. Like, the National League was very contested, and even in the Championship there, it wasn't just like at the moment you might have 2 teams or 3 teams. At that time, you had the Monaghan's, you had Cork there against us, you had Roscommon up north, and we didn't have Tyrone at that time. We had Monaghan at that time, like, you know. So there was plenty of teams that could come out, and a lot of the National League games at that time were played all over the winter. When the All-Ireland series was finished in September, you got into the major in October. It started in October, and plus I think there was more teams in the National League at that time because it took a break around Christmas, and then you went back into it again, like, you know. So Championship training for us, there was a bit of ease off during the winter and all the National League games. A lot of players would just pull out and take a rest. But it started then, you go back in about after Easter, March or April, then we'd be back in with Miko, and there'd be no sign of a football or anything like that. It'd be just continuously training all the way up to May, like, you know.
I was covering that match for Radio na Gaeltacht. It was a very sad occasion in a lot of ways, because a couple of days beforehand, John Morley of Mayo, who played for Mayo and for Connacht, was a great footballer, and Henry Byrne, another footballer, they were shot in Balladureen in County Roscommon, and all the players wore black armbands. Gardaí. How did Roscommon didn't win in All Ireland? Well, it's simple, really. Galway were in transition, and
so you're saying that the Connacht finals, they won Johan Vaughan, they were actually better than, they weren't quite as good as people are giving them credit for. Is that?
I mean, as we'll see later, they were fairly unlucky in the final in 1980. But they had great footballers. So McManus, Dermot Earley, probably the best midfielder that never won an All Ireland. I'd have him marked down number 1, the best midfielder. Saul Fedadurgajo, Harry Keegan, a great marker, Donlan. They were all brilliant footballers, no doubt. And great friend of mine, Seamus Hayden, always a good footballer midfield.
All right, well, fecha mi dar glithe canishin mar sin. Roscommon in Aik na Gaillimhe I barta híde Roscommon giri in cheathrú chréibh a bhuachant sa chuige as chéile.
Well, there may not be as many tourists on the west this year as we'd like, but there's no shortage of people here in Dr. Hyde Park this afternoon. It's a full house as usual for Connacht final day, and the weather, well, it's bright but breezy. Both teams today wearing dark armbands as a mark of respect to the 2 Gardaí, John Morley and Henry Byrne, shot dead last week. TJ Kilgallen then with this free. Over towards Joe McGrath. Ger Farragher picking it up from Mayo. A very, very high ball from Ger Farragher, and yes, it lands over that bar. Towards Micheál Finner in an excellent position, putting it over the goalkeeper's head. Great goal. Finner and Roscommon now lead 1-7 to Mayo's 4 points. Towards Eamon McManus, very near that far end line. Trying to get past John Gallagher. Still Eamon McManus, 4 Mayo men around him. That's a goal! It's John O'Connor, still John O'Connor, but losing the ball then. It's still lying loose in there. John O'Connor again. John O'Connor, the scorer. There's the man they call Jigger. And that's it. That's the end of the match.
I know that we talk about the final later on, the All-Ireland final, but were Roscommon the unlucky team at the time not to go all the way and win an All-Ireland out of all the teams that say outside of yourselves in Dublin?
I would think so. I think when we see later on, like Roscommon, if you see the chances that Roscommon got in the final, they could have went all the way, and they should have really, like, the more you know, when you're involved in 1980, you can't see, but looking back on it now, and I look back to it, they had fantastic chances. There's only two people Kerry can thank on the day, really, like, is Mikey Sheehy got 1-6, and Charlie Milligan made some fantastic saves to keep us in the game, like, you know. So they were very unlucky. Actually, John O'Gallagher and myself meet quite often. I think he was playing midfield that day, and I think he got a goal and 2 points. I think John O'Gallagher. He was an excellent midfielder as well, like, you know.
So did you mix much with the other teams then? I suppose all-star trips and the likes.
Oh, we would in all-star. I think John usually comes down and plays a bit of golf here in Tralee. Himself and Tony McManus come down to Tralee, and we play together, like. And there's a bit of we talked together then if Roscommon was in matches and Connacht finds, I give him a ring. His son was playing there for a while as well, like, you know. So I would be wishing him the best and hope that they'd win it, like, you know. But
and you talk about the referee, Ger, because there was great controversy in the week after that final that the referee gave Kerry 42 frees. He only gave Roscommon 17.
No, but looking at it, you must remember they got plenty of chances to kick the frees over the bar. Roscommon did. Like, I think if looking back at it, like, you know, it's the big difference was Mikey Sheehy was taking out frees and he kicked everything over the bar, like, you know.
All right, well, we look at that. We'll hold fire for a little while because that match, we're moving slightly off track here.
Yeah.
Bugamy the Rasha Drummond, Martin Joe, August Bugamy go Crave Line and rather dort me holla mar hartig fin cléthe seo, he said, and as na cléthe goléir a chonig sé harnam líanta, and get bevó a chonig sé riamh, na I fáilí a buchant cléthe canis lion and I kilchuinnig in éide gochta. So, cad a híl tosa mar hailavach nar chuda tú an torishan?
Well, Roblin and Ye Hele on 3 uren a bhí fáti lein na cliffi lechanis ra chance more na Limerick agus Gaile agus Súváili. Nacht agus 8 hain sin nach chu harda se agus sa gur cheappunt gur man tar a bhíán do gaile bhealach bháin ach ríméid ag an nám cén le Uváili bhfuil sé tan 3 uran mór míltecha nach chuil tá corta tá tuperdáin agus cilchuine agus tá chuile chuile agus nach Gaile agus Limerick agus Uváili sa godeile. So, vi sé tíal, kann Dermot Healy a réis, seach Uváili. Gus dar sé mion, ní ferach mutain, dar sé mion na himróí, agus dar sé an cultúr bhíán beidir ráte an Uváili. Fág na clubbaní leití leis, nuair a hardship an Gandhi sin nor is hamid lu gimmers le Uváili. Agus mar dar sé ground hurling rud a bhíán wa gúnaí agus Uváili hánig sé réis mar mó immerthe. Ach sé Dermot Healy ceapan an tunachar smó bhí afioch an Uváili ag an nám.
Agus fearras cilchuinnig gan áras comá heáin. Agus cuoinnig freisin, like, de chandé beg, bhí fáilí do lanamh an amóint, agus bhíidir do lanamh sa fel freisin bhí sé dochréite nach raibh.
Í sé go divan hain agus ní a cilchuine búlteach ná bacla clufa canis lion. Ní a sé búlteach an éon chlufa comórtas críomh a Google Lion chorbe le ceadach dó blian. Agus da ríre chunig buid an éidir seo I bháili an bhá sin agus cuioine cúpla nóméid an deire gur chur microsí cilchuine chun cín le cúl a chaléis le I bháile chréid sé go láideire. Agus tá sam ag an nám gur a Joe Connolly ag an ollscoil le Pat Fleury agus is minic a dútelam gur hiig sé an míach agus an mion intine a bhí ag I bháili agus go háid ag Pat Fleury. Bhí me ag an glufa, ní ra me gobar ag ach tá me ceapanar ag an glufa a bhí le chartar 8,000 duine. Dó dhé gan I hín bhí le fáil ar I bháile rémas. Níor thug aon duine, aon áit aon chance.
All right. Well, sure go even in the book pointy. Ifali a book and crave line than Gedo Reeve and I can't.
And the Leinster hurling final for 1980 is on. Mark Corrigan here again for Offaly. Has he got the second point? No, Noel Skean knocks it out. This is Johnny Flaherty. What a start for Offaly. That's Pat Fleury, first out to it, driving it away. Centre half forward, Brendan Birmingham here. And a long shot from Brendan from just beyond midfield. That's the most magnificent point. Corey taking his time, rising it now on the stroke. Noel Skean saves it again. And Brian Tony gets put his down into the net. The shot from Porrig. That's Johnny Flaherty's goal. And Kilkenny are protesting. But he was inside the square, but I don't think the referee is listening to them. Mick Crossley, Damien Martin then to Eugene Coughlin. Shot block comes to Matt Root. A last chance for Matt Root. And it's gone wide. Oh, what a chance missed by Matt Root. And it's all over. Offaly are the champions. For the first time in a long, long history.
Paddy Buckley was uachtar on the coming look last day. Agus Choporic Horan Sus, agus Gansi Hill Hunne Ach Durtin gonna himjoli lesh, Parin Reed on Gansi Shin, agus Nira Sheval a Glachan on Hurum, Pabo Keith, agus Gansi Hill Hunne agus and Carta Fadige, agus Gorsteve Joachim Kelly na Gorsteve the Glyphishon, Gorsteve Donna, a Honig Shasus and in Shaston, agus full agus Gara agus Grama agus Halahor. Kangana David and Goliath and Neragru Goliath.
We'll say the band on the Cliffy, lads. We'll say, when it came Ozzy Bennett and Chin on the Sewer. We'll say, talk about simple times. We'll say,
yeah.
I'm not Sewer again, the guy, and on. We went to Capagrommas to the Olympics. We'll say, do you know what I mean? Yeah. We shall go to brand new at a corpman lads, like skinny legs are the inch and like a bay lagus in the month. We'll say,
yeah.
We shall hurrah ag an nám agus ní ra cinál na móní tag an new playlish you know níl marrá nach rá eiclíocht a baintlin like Jeb the band were Ozzy and Chin well is had am nach were bauer the show me festi agus a nach a roba me soor hila garato
agus Joe like vi fáilí trish an chréibh bhóchan den géadúir. So bheith ceúra acu rud ní éad dí station a hachananta stocha agus cléthe le cheannis na hÉireann. Sibh sé bheith lo a gluthe le cheannis na hÉireann. So híl sibh sé do nó what féach lads be sé teo ceúra, sfeidlinge bheith braciú in a dul stapatí na Ireland semi-final seo seans an a bháding. An úirtar fear lei sin?
Sure, but we more trainer like external power, Costello Mick Dwyer cap, war shamut. Well, is that being physical training like guys like an arm. Cap and ni small not in for that. Dachmut ni hostach mod the me einer marathonish like ach ni stern ach je nach mod 18 jeg at fike agus lehed because you know we on the corpen of jagen we would really on fit. Well, it's that because we galore the attack because Higmud gra chance again. Well, it's that mirach more one a year because shin Edinburgh are on law. So we would the percentage and we in a story be about them gonna be gorty. We must bring a goon year gorty because my doctor so 10 run blian one. So the person that goes to my hapkin we may rail in car because Bí muid réile henka ach mar éiken muid bí muid ní sár ná bháil ar an lá ach beb nar tháinig se éis.
Oh yeah. Bhí se céird ní gúlín chun cín uair amháin agus tháinig sé éis go dtí gá chúlín agus na pápéir lár na bháideach ní ar a glufa bhí an chaint ach ar an réiteir as partláige J.J. Landers mar stop sé an clufa go 2 seconds fácaí agus bheith nóméid an breise eile ach breanna look. Ní anach sé.
agus an cléisisin na teachú Saravad. Ger, just to talk about the training methods that that Joe alluded to there. He said that they were kind of taking a leaf out of Mick O'Dwyer's copybook in terms of training methods. Can you give us an idea of what training was like for Kerry back in those days?
Well, if we went in, would say March or April, we would do nighttime. Would say at that time, it'd be still dark, and we would do anything up to about 70 or 80 rounds of pitch. Not all in one go, but it was just continuously training and rounds and all the physical training, and then you go to rounds and rounds, and that would go on. I would say he would always like to get his hands on the fellas that came in a bit slightly plump after the winter, and he knew who they were, And you had maybe Tim Kennelly, you would have Mikey, you would have Bomber, you would have John Egan. They would all always get a little, maybe an extra night in for more punishment, But they knew it was coming, But it was an awful lot of physical training, and I think it was so easy for us then, year after year after year, when we finished the league and get into championship, the fitness came back immediately again that we had built up over the number of years. And I can actually see the same thing happening there with Dublin at the moment. Their physical fitness is huge, But they've been involved in national leagues, they've been involved in the championship. So it is no problem for those fellas to get back and to keep fitness. And that was Mikko's theory, he, especially in 1975, I think he took a team that was, I think we won the National League in 1974, and he absolutely cleaned out everybody, all his own brigade that was there with Mikko, and the only two that were left was Brendan Lynch, Donny Sullivan, and John O'Keefe. Everybody else that was there in 1974 they just forget about it. We won the under-21s in 1973. He took over, and he just took over. He went for youth, and he went for, I suppose, general fitness.
And the rest is history, I suppose, and 8 All-Irelands. Later, for you personally, it was, I suppose, this was a great year, and of course, then the 4 in a row came the following year, and we won't talk about what happened in '82.
Well, we'll go back to Sean Bond about the referee. The referee never blew the right whistle in 1982.
All right. Anyway, listen. So fanamid le mointe gur cléhaáin nó mar sin eile agus filmid den isise cléthe canis na móin. So bhí corcaig agus limnach sa cheann sa corcaig ag éirí choiríocht nua a chrathú agus cléthe canis na móin a bhuachant an 6 bliain as sa chéile agus níor ceann bóite ag limnach ó 1974 sin na bóg faintí.
Horgan, the big man there for Cork, the centre from him into Eamon O'Donoghue. Still level they are. We haven't had a score since the 12th minute, and it's now 24 minutes. This is David Punch, but that breaks the deadlock. It has indeed. The young midfielder has put Limerick ahead. Tom Cashman further away. That's Liam O'Donoghue, who's got rid of the helmet. If that's the point, it's a Maxton Whitley staggering point. He must have been all of 85 metres away. Liam O'Donoghue, a beautiful point it was, dead straight between the posts. Sheared away again, Joe McKenna here. This is Jimmy Carroll for Limerick. That's a good shot. It breaks away from the goalkeeper. Broke away from Jimmy Murphy. About 30 metres from his own end line. And a long one against the wind it is. Martin O'Doherty slipping in. And a hurley thrown out of Brendan. So Limerick are the champions. And look at this way they celebrate. Their 15th Munster title.
buntáiste díobh sé sin for an nua a tachtaiste corca gimethe, cael cuine gimethe, I fáilí agus Gaillimh, I fáilí agus limnach an is fága libse ins na cluichí le cheannis. A raibh tú sásta aber nuair a chanig tú limnach a bóchad ar thorca.
Well, mar a dúirt me níos suúche má tan na big tree imi agus má tá trí fu an nua fáca agus má bhí mud sa gríomh seachtaní, hiicá bhfuil nó tá seans agin sa rudteo. Corky beidir anar an chrúisiid an trí níchéile bis muide sin na seachtaní beidir bine an kickdéire gonurin sin agus má bhí limrach a tíocht mar a bhí gur seans mór a bar an lá. Agus imróíontach a bábhardíonfa Dominic Éim an Cregan beach sé a réan for an limrach tíam a sintrí agus beagnáne se an dachar dóin sa gríomh an lá chéime. Agus limrach siad limrachá Kangalan láidir le deir le limrach éair Jackie Power ó se All Ireland's le limrach na fáda sír agus Anya Ramán agus Anya Limni. Ach vís agin gra seans mór agin agus mar a dús me bhí sroch a baint linn agus bhí féin winning sílim a tíocht agus má dúirt me dóché tá bháilí fácíine agus a limrach fáci. Rud eile faoi limrach, rú se an cliffe sin I miúil, agus sé gra seach mí idir an cliffe sin agus críomh na héirn, agus is achar an ada sin a bheith a siúr háart a limrach agus daoine a cainsle agus an brú, agus bhí sin nua bed nach le chuilechuin acu hí smóg ná trúnú ceach, tá buntáiste go gaiile a bhíon sin farsin.
Agus ar nó bhí ceangal ag Jo le limrach feis. Rutú pósta le.
Bhí me on the way.
On the way, Ben's limrach or no I Cathy, yeah. So being Kangal and sin.
And Joe mentioned there your own affinity for Limerick, and indeed your 1 year's when you took over the Limerick senior football job as manager. I mean, you would probably have gotten a pretty much close-up view of how important sport was. Maybe the minority sport, you could say, in terms of, say, ambitions for winning All Irelands and all the rest of it, the Limerick footballers at the time. But nonetheless, I'd say demands made to succeed, and we could see it there in that Munster final, just what it meant to them.
Oh yeah, but I don't know if you know, but my father was manager of the Limerick team in 1973, like, and it was 36. I don't know how long it was before that they won it, like, you know. And I would know most of those Limerick players in the present day, like, you know, because I was born in Limerick and lived there for 10 days before we ever came down to Tralee, like, and then we moved to Tralee after 10 days. But I would be still very proud of my Limerick blood, and especially we say my father at that time they trained the team of 1973, but they left a few after him after that, like, you know. But still, Limerick. You know, it's great to see him back, like, you know, because it's such a sporting city and sporting county. Like, it's great to see the Limerick colours back, and I hope they'll be back again this year, like, you know.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Nish, so has sé luaite go bhhanna hin, so limnach tríd mar sin go cluiche canis na hhéireann, Gaillimh agus I fáilí an isin san cluiche le cheannis. Well, I fáilí go háirithe fuair an umlán nua, Gaillimh ag immert a géad chluiche sa chréamh, agus bhí conspóid sa chluiche se lerómid fééis sin, tréis doing fechant na buachfaintí.
Joe Connolly, I should say. Sean Silk tipping the ball around. Iggy Clark. And listen to that reception as the helmeted men from the Midlands make their way onto the field. Oh, a lovely sidestep there by Iggy. John Connolly in possession, he gets the ball out to the wing. And shot at a goal! A goal by John Connolly! And there is an Offaly man looking rather worried, Mick Spain, their referee and mentor of Offaly. And he's smoking cigars. Whether that is affluence or nerves, I'm not sure. Bernie Ford going through with Pat Clooney. John Connolly's got it now. He's inside Mick Kennedy. He takes it out. Goal for John Connolly. Trying to follow Nolan going through. And it's another goal. Another goal for Galway. Delaney into the goal mouth. They're putting and the goal! It's a goal! A goal! Brendan Birmingham and gone back to get it now. Michael Kennedy. He's being chased back there, and there's another goal! Another goal! Another goal scored right here on the wing. Brendan Birmingham getting a second chance. Into the centre now to Mark Carrigan. Carrigan into the goal. A goal! A goal! A goal! Oh, what an electrifying finish! The ball comes out on the loose. There's nothing loose anymore. There goes the final whistle, and Galway have just struggled home. And on our stopwatch, another minute wouldn't have done the least bit of harm. To me, there were 34 minutes played in that half. I don't know about your stopwatch, but I do know about mine. JJ Landers coming off the field, and I don't know about JJ's watch, but his is the watch that counts. But all of us say, doesn't matter a fiddler's damn. But there was, in my opinion, about a minute left in the game.
Yeah, bhí chuige dónú mar sin second agus gan éon an breiseach an ire dimmerthe Joe. So hic sibh se láthach go raibh go raibh sé tréis an rud a héide Rudberg Lua.
Ní a clú agin, agus bhí smacht agin an slisreig an hon. Bhí sé Michael, bhí seans maig amach se glantamach a sin sos go dtí an T-Bergen Park. Ní an cibnach sin choláidir agam gra chunspóid mór faoi ag an ná. Agus ní hé go róvinnig go for gaile fábarach tá a fábarach ó réiteoirí agus má formas sto second an lá sin fámuide ach go jou leis príomh a réiteoirí agus amáí na gaileh agus má chumid break be an lá sin fámuide.
Agus chuúla sibh mar an ó lochtaí fáilí idir an dálainn finna cinenne hiise.
Ní ramus le bhí Mar those to beyond my horde to le flori, pet flori, of Roman Fitzgibbon, Shemar, Nimar Hapkin again, the female South Barber. We would bow le hele, will it that Marby much new and black on dollar and shilling. We said, Achni couldn't have grow more on kind of horror in the Queen no much. And it was be smart again and shit. Will it said,
Garrod Stoilum. Rullam an sin agus rullam le couple mígus a brenn chlufií ríist. Den clufi sin mén feice ar ball go bheith Michael Kennedy luchs a glufi caneach. Bhí caiinte gáile nach se ránaí le chlufi canis mar ní sam ceidir íon loch bhí chuide an locht ar bhaile. Tá rud eile bhála mar rá. Gúnaí bíon caiinte Joe agus ar John Connolly. Ní dóilmsa i zíam go Dr. Nón Umás go Michael Connolly. Jimmer Michael Connolly sár chlufií go gaile agus ní bhar se an Thomas rí. Ní bhar se all-star a riamh Joe chun it.
Ní bhfuil sin an gúin an record ag Mike le all-star nominations gan all-star á. Sílam gur se animníthe sé uaide mar all-star nominations ach ní bhar se all-star riamh agus lua míhall rátas coppláchan mar a thuirteigh. Rátas faoi dúrú leis Michael in a pub ichháin leidas chunamara dúirte Michael Conley from Castlegara dúirte always a star, never an all-star.
Never an all-star.
agus má hagan en Michael sós ar mo fón godí seo, well it said Derbyshire always a star, agus Derbyshire hain, but never an all-star. Actually named team net John, agus níl mu dach go fiar bailach má an háscór bí an ieshin.
Yeah.
Bhí an waige le gaile le ach bhí se mar Lawn Park agus bhí réal pagóní Lawn Park bhfuil sa bhí a Frank Cummins Duncanton agus bhí an bháin a gcónaí bhí amáí eile ionintach mar Lawn Park like so ach ein team le agus ní rúis méid go peiblia ach sílam go se the smileam sa gcónaí percentage players bhfuil sa agus má tá percentage player agat bíon to spawn to Sagoni. Ní stearní le gaile rinne Michael Coleman agus Pat Malone or Cana. Well, said picking would you look at Shin Mata Imrori Agat because ta Comasaka Bagoni because ta Kai Janaka because no Tashadin Tashadin in Tatum is mess and on Binet Pasha could care the Yenish that on law like
all right, well bog me the right machine of course you Pella reached Sarah Villamy there and Clehela Janish an clé canis ammána. Agus an dáchlathe lechanis pelle. Dúspóire Russ Comáin a thug ard bhacha agus seohan méid a hála an lá sin.
To Joey Donnelly. Brian Hughes coming out for it. Looking to see if somebody's coming in, and they have it. It's a goal! It's a goal! A lovely goal! Scored by Martin Murphy. Smith being harassed by Tom Donlan. Smith getting inside. Down to Peter Loughran. Loughran is shot, and Loughran a point. Moriarty now inside the half line out to the wing, and here they go again. Brian Canavan. It's a high one, and it is a good one. Brian Canavan, who's playing a wonderful game for Armagh. Back to Jimmy Smith. And a goal! A goal! A goal by Jimmy Smith! And what a goal! Trying to find somebody now to send the ball to, and he does. He finds Micheál Finneran. Finneran sends it high, and it's over the bar, and again that gap is narrowed. Martin McDermott, and the forwards are inside this time. Micheál Finneran, oh, a lovely dummy. Tony McManus, it's a goal! It's a goal! Tony McManus, seen Danny Murray. He's been chased by Joey Donnelly. Ball back now to Dermot Early. Early takes a shot, and there's the lead for Roscommon. And Tony McManus sends it up along the way to Micheál Finneran. Hugh McAlinden has come out. There's nobody in the goal. He's across in front of the goal. It's a goal. Yes, it is. It's a goal scored by Micheál Finneran. A goal by Micheál Finneran, as Brian McAlinden came out of his goal and left the wide open spaces behind him.
Well, ich an bhain beléir sa cluiche sin, bhí ard bhacha cúlín chun ceanna Graham agus tháinig Russ Comáin ar eis beléir just pean na galúintí sin trí cluiche le cheannis caiilte go hena hain do riadar lo hain an cluiche seo geall a bheith mé just, you know, taste a chance agus bheith cad a Harley and dimmer siad beidir an lap hella is fear a dimmer siad riamh an irin sin in
It's minic dú siad hain go leor gan na himimiú lumen na fiúán Dermot Early, dimmer siad an leabhar is ach bhí an bhí cúlaíach a bhí lár páirce go Béirlí agus héad nach bhí tosaí iontacha go freisin. Ní hamháin na drádacha McManus ach Micheál Finneran buíontach go deo agus póirtear ceart amachchas amach a bhí an Micheál Finneran cintintas gur a grí an ard agus bhí siad ceapain aráiste na grí seo hé bliain Roscommon.
All right, well, Russ Comáin trí go dtín gluthe canis mar sin a cé a bheith lo. Ciarí agus ífáilí a chasar i chéile sa le cheannis eile.
Here is the Offaly team. And here comes Kerry. They're tugged out in the unfamiliar blue. Into the centre, and Tasmanan is there. It's a goal. It's a goal. Hold it back. Yes, it's a goal. It's a goal. Tasmanan got it. Johnny Mooney inside his man now. Across it comes to Matt Connor. A goal! Into Jerry Carroll. Carroll being harassed there by Gerald Keith, still going in. It's a goal! It's a goal! A goal by Jerry Carroll. This is Owen Liston. This is Tommy Doyle. This is John Egan. And that is Mikey Sheehy. And it's in the net. It's in the net. As Charlie Conroy goes into defence. And this ball has gone into the net. Is this one inside the square? No, it's not. The umpires put up the flag for Kerry. Are they going to come round and get another one now? Way downfield, and yes they are. Here's Mikey Sheehy. Mikey Sheehy back into John Egan, and John Egan into the net. And Ger Power trying to get inside. Is it going to happen?
Oh.
Oh! Imagine doing that in the last minute of an All-Ireland semi-final, and it doesn't matter. The final whistle has gone. Tommy Doyle has been forgiven, and Kerry have won as amazing a game as I've seen for a long, long time.
So, Ger, a nice little bit of soccer skill there at the end. Thankfully, it didn't cost you missing the chance, though.
No, that was my days of playing the civil service soccer team above in Dublin. You could sneak out and do a bit of training, play soccer games, like, you know. But no, that was a great match. Like, I think it ended up 4-15 to 4-10. Like, you know, it was non-stop. Like and the great Matt Connor got 2 goals and 9 points, I think, in that game. Like, you know,
yeah, he was incredible. And like that was really the start of this epic period of a few years where yourselves and Offaly, there was nothing between the teams, the 2 best teams in the country at the time, I think, for sure.
Yeah, well, I think they played out and out football, really. Like, you know, that was one of the best games. Now I think that we played. Maybe it was the change of colours, all blue and white, as me Hall of Horses. Like, but I'll tell you a very good story. But in the team for the final, there was two cornerbacks of Kerry. We'll talk about the communications between selectors and teams. They were sitting down at the 9 o'clock news on the Saturday, and the team was picked, and they found out that they were dropped for this final. There was no communication between players. We just, particularly, I was just sitting down watching the news, and even found out he was dropped when it was called out.
This is for the 1980 final.
Yeah, that's final. Yeah, the next match. Yeah, the final match. Yeah.
Go on, tell us, expand on that story there.
Well, I think it was Ger Keefe was one cornerback, and Mick Spillane was the other cornerback, and you must remember the 2 boys that did all the scoring in that game was Matt Connor and who was the other corner. But anyhow, it turned out well for Ger, and then because in the final Bomber wasn't playing, and they put Tommy Doyle from forward, and they brought on Ger Keefe. But that's how they learned about their being picked in the team. They were actually.
Oh yes.
No,
we've already spoken about 2 hurlers that would be in any 15 of the last 50 years. There's another one there, lads. Matt Connor from Offaly. He was just into Hamasma. Sorry, fella.
Yeah. Brilliant, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like if you'd a call on the player from another county at the time, Ger, where would he have featured?
Oh, definitely. But you wouldn't like to be getting rid of your own fellas either. Like, I can't do that. I'd be first off.
Yeah, it was incredible. As you said, Matt Connor, I think he definitely got the 2 goals, possibly 7 points if not 9 that day, and still on the losing team. I mean, it was tragic that his career was cut short in the way that it was. But
that must be one of the biggest scores in an All-Ireland semi-final. Was it 4-15 to 4-10?
4-10, yeah, it would have been. Sure, I mean, it was end to end, as they say, and the final very different in lots of different ways. But let's move on then. Agus bogami gadi Clehe Canish na hair and in the mind, Martin. Agus Joe, I suppose. All Ireland finals being she Dakar anyway, but if you tahi agwif show nedig shaftanay, but in Queen Lat and build up if you agwif goodin Clehe Canish in the Limna Kunsavisha, it's the Shaftan River aber.
Well, obviously in earlier, because what I said, being a dead new hele Gorhail with Cliffy Craver. She don't grow Jagin Kyle Jagan or Woman and Karen Derek Cliffy Canish. Agus Mia, agus Masla, agus Askni, agus Malach, agus Hulro the Jet or off for Yamana, Nagalia, the Grosha Chapter East. I happen to grow up aged. You're going to need money in a tack the mask and lock. Bechna, Gromodan, Shafto, Kui, agus Gro, Shafto, Mui, we must the Glyphicanish, agus Maradouts, a Galish Shaft being Cliffish, be Comortas and Bohrier and Grota, be Glor Comortas Grota, Gaia. Agus Captain Gra money on, be Montegera, Montana Husband, yeah. Ach Maradouts, George Scale, Josh Scale, Agus Inchin Jana Hain, De Law Ribbon Clifford, or a Malachwella or train on. Be Hain cigar, Agus on Bert's Elleby cigar, Snail McInerney, Agus Joe McDonough, a boss, as a decorated one school to them he went. Be nerd brew auto, because brew tiach that put in the guy. When you actually the shack like joch in Orden Moor. Like some machas shack a tachosta, Orden Moor large. Because tres fanta, panta dinner, can it dinner, eile Jochor will is that because 10 or 12 pints later will is that because just a session from nowhere will is that
Blowout.
in 13 because they're in Saharan we would train all these because these sagan care the hall no Twitter no Facebook no nothing. Sinné chuí bris an trúseán an brú agus chuimnis a gríomh nóair a Harlan, Niall McNerney Clifford, John an Clifford, Joe McDonough Cadder in the Shedfresh and Clifford. So Skychi ní ar na mudéisisin ar nóí ach bhí brú úfosach orin mar irin a meachmud an máil seo agus an fad seo ó brúma de brise. Ach sin móháin beidir brú a brise.
Agus luig tú Niall McInerney. Bhí Niall McInerney gimmert ar Joe McKenna nach raibh sa cléthe cairis? Agus bhí Joe McKenna beidir ar an tosí ba dhéann sé rís a tír. Bhí Conor Hayes nach raibh sé thar lear ag dús an tairí. Bhí sé taistil in Amsterdam nuair a bheith an marsin, raibh?
A bhí agus cinnachlam ar is jet a scéal for scéal carragan chumach go dtí a heach Kiltarma dearra ar fánach. Agus Searle agus Mahane agus Niall Stephen. Agus sa sí sa gisnach an sa bhóthir mo Kiltarma machbín Jochúil na machbín tír agus man Conor fan na imi le ach bhí sé rinne imach. Ó híomh Niall McInerney ní léon imráid riamh ceapan ar an aird féin winning aige is a bhí ag Niall. Sé absolute character is siomra feiste sa bhean agus tá sé go táhacht a gúnig go mé a lethe dagat. Agus ag glyffi bíoch sé ag na Joe McKinnon nó na Eddie Kerr nó épica maiach should score no pointe dhearach na you were lucky there. You were lucky. So ní ra ein scanra ag Niall a bheith gimmert so na Joe McKinnon leisna. Agus Conor was Eamon Cregan an lá, agus fégur score all Eamon Cregan 2-7 sílim. Still, when you Conor Galore a month on Darpacher and law fashion.
All right. Well, fechan mi den is Sierra Cléthe Canis na Héireann mar sin Gaillimh an Aiglin.
They've come from Galway, they've come from Limerick. In fact, if you happen to be travelling through either of those counties today and you don't see anybody around, I'll tell you where they are. They're here at Croke Park. Out to this side of the field now, and it's Freddie Ford. Ford going through. And a save, a goal! A goal for Galway! Cutting inside. It's a goal by PJ Malloy. Johnson breaking up the attack. Mossy Carroll going up for it. Jimmy Carroll. A goal deflected by Eamon Cregan. Eamon Cregan deflecting that one. And here come the Fitzmaurice. The Fitzmaurice, a great save by Michael Keneally as Willie Fitzmaurice took that shot. And the referee, John, trying to shake off the Limerick man. And getting in a lovely shot. Oh, what a delightful shot. That's what it's all about. Limerick's chief scorer. He stands back to get a bit of power into the drive. Here it comes. It's out! Less than 4 minutes left in the game. Galway leading by 3 points. Galway, there's the final whistle. Galway are the champions. Galway 2-15, Limerick 3-9. And look at that for excitement.
A win sin a Gaillimh. Tá seach bliain agus céaga. Tá craobh na Héireann ar eis an Gaillimh. People of Galway, we love you.
An chéad fápa eile í mu rang eile.
He heard it somewhere before. Well, bidé sin an áráid is fearr a chuaille mé riamh ó captaín agus an corran na láimh aige.
le cad a bhí around a raibh nótaí scrite go rih ré a raibh tú tríéis cuioine bhar a rinne seachtain na mámhóid ba bhela mé seo a lua nó cad a bhí rinne go nuair a heasta suas in na céimena sin.
Bhfuil cíine an nótaí, gach druggalám LHDíana le nírá se dúteach in le trí scór blion mór an sá céim fáimach mar chutá le chéile. Bhí agam gonear na Gaeilge, sin éna bit a híon, mar bhí man bhaine nach a dóí nó an bródó leis mo go Gaeilge gur tógúile me agus gur thugte sin ionas go Gaeilge nach duine an óráid thuirtú Gaeilge, sin bit a híon. Gus bhí agam amach an deis go luan na imircí, mar plán ó Gaeilge, an Ameridaine iontacha dá Gaeilge mar gáil ar imirce, agus bhí me gcónaí intin agam amach an deis agam, agus chunig me tufií lechanis gus canis an méid imircí a tháinig ar éis an tufií. Agus wing it after that. Well, I said, ni really are idea agam céir de bhí fós. Ach actually nó eisteach nóair a bhí nóair a tháinig an scréach mar míteach le igi, thug se couple second ó chum cuimnú a rud ag an eile rá. Well, I said, thug me an cordan gaí agus bhí bris agin. Well, I said, ní rá mar maith an chéile. Ach, a bhí agam go rácáid a bheacháin agus bhí me don't blow this one. Well, I said, mar bhí agam go rácáid a bhí an, agus nóair a chríochta sé sin le Joe McDonagh Casa the West of Wales. Sílam gur go chuir sé isteach mar ócáid, just rééis an flipa mar chuid bhí héin.
Chnig sin ag tús an fí seán sin a bhíhil an tíiseach a tíocht amach an bar Charlie Hahey, agus an léine all in Charvé sin stíl fárás an. An sin íon bblion céanna dúte, we'll have to tighten the belt.
Tighten our belts.
Yeah. Agus sin íon bblion céanna a bhrú Johnny Logan on Eurovision. What's another year?
There you have it. And what is another year? Joe, just a fechant an Irish Times and Laud Argyun and rather door Paddy Downey fuav agus fuin buasha. Dorche, at long last, the hurlers of Galway are teeming through the garden of the golden apples, and at the gate, all the dragons and the ghosts of dragons are dead.
Oh, Yoli.
I mean, Keelig sé an chuidíh sé agus de fáint na gaile mar dúir tú haimp.
Well, is that there's another fact on the time. We much obsessed that all Ireland the fruit. Mar irin, we much obsessed. Agus ceir the rinne sé chuin. Bach ma an chesa le leid a casawarin as na conte eile. Agus bach ma an a benno seach na súla orchu. Ra gaile freshen tá Ireland agin. Agus fásta sós na séascudí agus go leor gon seachpadí. Seachpa trí bhfuil London mud, sa gríomh Cathy Canis. Agus as a tháinig mud go dtí sin, bhí sé dochetí. Ach, sin é rud a smó a thugte chuin go pásanda agus mar imróí agus mar chundé, agus in na dhéisin. Bhíoch mu an an séir sa sós leis na conta eile, ní mar a chéile géirí le deir, no na conta móra le. Bhí rátas aigeine deire agus bhí me céimhid na amáí iontacha go móras na dathataí agus na chuigedaí a chail cliffií ar ceartó, le ceartó, na bhfuil agus na drochrodí. So, faoi se ba thug seún, faoi se vinne agus bhfuil creid na náchaid a go dtí an lá nniuáin báscóir in aviation pan faoi se intine sin agin gur brismú de sin agus grama den an all ar in na grúchtá.
Agus mar luig tú Joe McDonagh an son gannne Diatroker agus é canig a deir bhí se go háling mar fiasa. Ger, I mean, I know that you went out in every game to win, but did you ever feel what Joe is talking about there, that sense of, okay, we got one over on a certain team, but you'd feel a level of empathy or pity or sadness for their sake that they hadn't managed to get over the line, because some teams and very good teams didn't win any.
I think you don't feel like that when you're playing, but afterwards when you're looking at things and great teams that were narrowly beaten or even beaten by funny decision or something like that, like, you know, as the boys says, Dermot Early there in midfield was a fantastic footballer, John O'Gara, never to win the All-Ireland, and as you're going to show now, like they looking at that particular match, they could have easily have won that match. Like, you know, we were very, very, very lucky on that day to come out. I think of all the All-Irelands we won, that's the one I think we should have lost. We should have lost the 1980 All-Ireland final, you know, because Roscommon were on top of it. I think, as Sean Bond says there about all the frees, I think they got a little bit too physical in the end of it, and we got too many frees in the end of it, like, which Mikey converted them all. And I think that was the difference in the match at the end of the day. But I think if there was less frees on behalf of the Roscommon players and stuff like that, I think definitely they could have ran out winners of that match, like, you know.
All right, well, fechan mi there sin mar sin. So Kiri and I Roscommon, Clehe Canish na Heron, agus vi Tusma ag Roscommon sa Chansa.
And here he comes. This is Bomber Liston being shaken by the hand by one of the Roscommon men, a man who would have been full forward but for an appendix operation a few days ago. And the lads say, come on, Bomber, your place is out here with us. Nice sail of a dummy there, and he's still going on. Has he gone to it? Must be a goal. It's a goal. It's a goal. And it is a wonderful goal by John O'Connor. Tommy Doyle to pass Spillane. Here's Spillane going through now. Egan has gone out to his right. And to his left is Mikey Sheehy. And there it is, the goal. Mikey Sheehy finishing the passing movement. That's Ogie Moran. And the referee gone down now, and quite rightly gone down on this time, as Jerry Fitzmaurice has fouled one of the Kerry men. Somebody, Pat Lindsay, saying to Pat, come on, get up. The referee doing likewise. It could be a case of the boy and the wolf once again. Pat Spillane, was he really badly hurt, or is he in line for an Oscar? Jack O'Shea. And Kerry lead again as Jack O'Shea sends that one over. A passing movement in Jack finishing it at Common. Dermot Early into the goal, that's Dinner, and goes for it. It goes off Charlie Derrigan, and the ball is down in the parallelogram. The clock ticks over and over and over, and Kerry are the All-Ireland champions. Kerry are champions by 3 points for the 26th time in their history.
It was a very physical game.
Very, very physical. Probably the most physical game I ever played in. But it's great to win. And just I hope my mother has calmed down a little bit now and said we're all okay.
She didn't come up.
She did not. No. Tell her we'll see her tomorrow night. We're all perfect.
Well, what about 4 in a row now? You know, Kerry and Wexford share that record.
Next week we'll think of that now.
Okay,
you were a proud man after that. We missed out on your speech there, but.
Thanks for the God, yeah.
was that the most nerve-wracking part of the day?
It was too. I'd say the bit of Gaelic, it was too short. You couldn't get 2 minutes of it, like, you know.
But Pat Spillane mentioned it there. It was a tough physical game, and you've already referenced it. It was probably one that she should have lost. It was 3 points in the end, a very low-scoring game, 1-9 to 1-6. But I suppose at the end of the day, it was the 3 in a row, and already the talk starting of 4 in a row. I mean, Kerry people were never too long dwelling on any All-Ireland victory before they started thinking of the next one.
Yeah, well, actually, as you said, the scoring there was very low. I think Mikey got 1-6, Jacko got a point, Spillane got a point, and I think I got a point. That was the total score, like, you know. It was and the more and more that game, if you watch it, like, and match it up to the present day, the way they play football the present day, like, it was a game of catching, kicking, going, look, just clear your lines and kick away the ball, whereas the great game at the moment, like, they'd be dropped off the team if they did some of the things that we did. But I'll tell you a very good story. When we brought the cup home to Tralee, I was working in part of the social welfare, and there was these 2 young fellas who were sent down to me to do a training course to the staff the following week. And one of them was now Secretary of the Dublin County Board, John Costello. Oh, yeah. So it was there wasn't much training done by the time I brought him to Listowel and Dingle, and every night there was something on. So I think he had to reappear about 3 months later to give the same course. But it's amazing how he went on to become secretary. We must have taught him good things, and he went on to be Secretary of the Dublin County Board.
Yeah. And for you personally, when you got back to Austin Stacks Club now, I'm sure there was a night arranged, and to walk in as a Stacks man, as captain of the Kerry team, the Sam Maguire under your Oxter, that must have been a special moment.
We paraded up Rock Street, like, and there's some great, like, I suppose there's more medals in Rock Street than any other place in the country, really. Like, you know, if you go back, all the players go way back. And I think it was about, oh my God, 40, 50, maybe 60 years before somebody came up the Rock, as we call it, the Rock Austin Stacks with the cup, like, you know. But yeah, it was great, like, you know. But as I said, you know, you would have sympathy for Roscommon too, even to this present day, where I meet the two boys, like, you know. But I was captain.
And also, it was a horrible.
Pardon? It was a horrible game.
It was a horrible day. You had the gale and everything. It was an awful day.
Yeah, it was a terrible game, yeah. But then just one for the Galway fellas, in 1970, I was captain of the Kerry minor team, and we were beaten by Galway by a pint.
It was a replay, wasn't it? Yeah.
Well, you thwarted a Western double during 80, and as we were all doing now, going through old stuff because of lockup and everything, and I went through some old stuff with, God rest my mother that had it, and it's been my house now, but a huge card signed by the Roscommon team wishing us the best of luck in our All-Ireland final. I just came across it a few weeks ago. One of these giant cards, like, so we were obviously hoping it would be a Western double, but I think the general consensus in Roscommon after that was the over-physical nature of the play, and the fact that they finished up only scoring 1-6. If he only scored 1-9, it was so winnable, obviously. But not to be able to match or go beyond 12 points in a final, but they probably might have lost their heads in their determination to win, like, rather than playing football, because they did have beautiful forwards, especially, and tough backs, like, yeah.
Yes, so it was seen there in the first 5 or 10 minutes. Sure, I think they got about a goal. There was a goal and a pint, going 2 pints in the first few minutes. Like, they definitely had the players, like, you know. But at the, you know, I must admire, like, Mikey Shee's free taking all through his life has been fantastic, like, you know, and he just proved it on that day there, like, it's the, you know, how Kerry seems to get their free takers whenever they get, you know, the Morris Fitzgeralds and you've young O'Shea at the moment and stuff like that. But those kind of people who win games for you when it comes down to.
Yeah, I think John Egan, God rest him, said afterwards that one of the toughest players he ever played against. And that game, actually, Harry Keegan, John didn't get much from Harry Keegan in that game. He had an outstanding game. But I'm thinking about Joe Connolly's mother, Mona, and his father, Pat, they all passed away. But when they won the club final in Navan, I stayed in the Connolly household in Ballybrit for 3 or 4 nights. And I think on the 4th night, she used to keep turkeys and hens and everything, you know, ducks. And she'd get out six duck eggs. And she said, Shawnee Namack, I think she said, it's about nearly time you were going home. After 4 nights in Connolly. What a year. What a year.
Yeah, what a year it was. Jared, we're nearly finishing up. I'm just going to ask you a couple of things just before we wrap up. I mean, obviously here we are now in 2020 and it's a very different scene to the one from 40 years ago. You know, football and hurling indeed are not the important issues that need to be taken into account when we're planning what's going to happen in terms of recovery from the current COVID situation. But Ger, do you think, based on what the GAA has come out with over the weekend, that we'll see football and hurling this year? You know, they're planning for it, but obviously there's loads of provisos wrapped up in that. What sort of championship, if we have one, will we have this year?
I think they'll go back to the knockout championship. I don't think there'll be anything wrong with it, like, you know. Just to say one last thing before I go in the games there, it's very sad to see 3 players like John Egan, Tim Killenny and Paddy Shea have since passed away, like, you know, and you just miss those guys, like, you know, they should be still around. But to come back to the I think they should just go now out, and I can't see, like, I think people are very responsible, and up to now people have been fantastic, like, you know, and even they're talking about, you know, kind of putting seating in Hill 16 and stuff like that. I think people would love to get back into Croke Park, no matter how distant they are from each other. Like, okay, let it be limited. Let the people who get the tickets and stuff like that. But I would like to see it back, even if you're talking about 15, 20,000. Let that amount of people into Croke Park and let them play the games.
But what about the players themselves? Would they be happy? Bearing in mind their families, their children, they've possibly older relations and people with health conditions. Would you understand if a player said, "I'm just not going to play"?
Oh, I would, of course. 100%. I would, of course, accept any players who doesn't want to play. But I think as happening, like we're behind other countries at the moment, and we're behind the soccer in Germany, and we're going to be behind the soccer in England. Like, and that can be a basis of how we do training and how the groups of 5, group of this, put them back in. And I think that'd be a way around it. No. How to go into a pitch and nobody inside the pitch and play a match, but sure, if they want to go ahead with it, I think if the players say yes, I think they would play. I think the GA will go ahead with it. I think it's all going to boil down to the players.
Joe, cad a cheapan tú meg na himróí sásta dul ar aise gimmert?
Well, sin míon an imróí bhile gimmert, agus má tá siomar feiste sé dís agus clufií limmert, in comparison to my unscanfree rebound than COVID. My hagen rebound, how much needs to my here she because that means a person to sauce the more I'm fluffy harden me. What our shan't pressure, the doctor, good and galler, Lord the reached my yard fluffy or image. My really scanfree fishing. Chilling girl took him that show. My hagen rebound, need shan't taking tea, need shan't taking the morning. Daesh hagen an ospedie an a doctor agus sinné penra de bháin is really scantrach an ma hagen se fiho tam ar bhd fin ospis na gaide bhil agus a goor medics de stúrse sin ma hagen se fiho tam mí so tam really ma hagen cliffi agus ach my sauce the band or agus ach níle an choile agam sem líana le hi cliffi camera full set am I guarantee se gwaach mut goden Budin áteile amachchas an gal ófasach seo agus má tá sacrifice le déana gúnaí bíoh siad.
But má an galar lenger feag blianta amach roing agus deirtar go méid go dtí go doctor ar leis dó. Gahamí just marachtant slíégan a aimsú le marachtant leis Joe mar a daoine rá mana bhfuil cluichí going tá sé churisteach ar mo chléigean freisin agus an sais an sláinte inchinne sin tá sé sin tácht leis agus tá daoine híos leis le tá an galar dómh agus mar sin churisteach ar daoine níos mó agus níos mó agus tá sé dechar ar chuoine tachttas sin nach chuil agus caróig na cluichí mas féidir struchtú réigen a chuir le chéile.
Well bhhailm obviously bhhailm gemacht tufií ar siúl ach tá anatach bhín dáinte ar a bheith na mílte chuirla chéile agus an dáinte agus bhfuil mu gar clufií behind doors ní dólam gcuil ach mátá sé má tá den an clufií immert gus bheith sáhailte obviously sinné chu tá ar ach rá tarint le chéile díobh sa tíar mar a bhíle cúpla mí. Níach mis díobh a mu siúil a mis agus vi me an tivele vi me an pram sal tilé agus vi me geri imachtest vi dini an agus vi stote hart gus mir an pehi ag me le TV ach go háú agus mesk dini ni an koi broívan mar vi sílim se honnig moet ájocht néden le koplemí nos a hi dini takule chéle agus a kule chéle agus Bhilm rilí ver an tíbele an galar se gan éon seint ní hóáil, agus mar tam de fágáil seint ní bhilm go dála sin.
Alright, agus i heáin is tócha mad leis an goman lúk le scoil tá John Horan treéis tacht amach go peblií agus ráitige go minic. Níl an cuman lúk le scoil a géirí éon seans a hógan lei seo. Tá sé géirí fan nach siar agus tá sé den nó an goman lúk le scoil bheith cumádach agus is dom seo sampla eile go meisiad an a chóramach nach dóga siad seans más féidir le éire a hachant agus go bhana siad sláánúigh seo agus is féidir.
Gotí se stoilm sa go anjab diontaig cuman an luchlascail. Mar bhí deórá sé chéad chéimiil is stoilm sin chéad táhachtaí ar fad. sé sin go gafar eúnt a chud ar roiine a globalaí, gafar eúnt a chud ar na banisteoirí na cóteálaí agus chola hortail agus céime daine a bheits a tréna le chéile tá fre sé a gúsáid nó budéil céine nach ulas tíocht a reis agus nach mééis sé a cráláh le chéile. Ach tá visneach agus muí ansa as clubbannaí a go an luchlascail gunne siad sin. Mission duine sinne is stoilm an seo. Tá cén 16 blian dééis agus Tá me be an on santach Ger agus Jo agus Míhall mar tá is sé fed op Somáile ní a me nece le échlufe a gobad ar chlufií le coppla mí sport a parne radio an gailtocht agus clufe deadúna ach ní cheart go diclí eis go me fin anhiocht a reis. Knockout is cinnte is an má hín an emsir go má san bhóver is stólam go neibdá se a chludháin eile béidir gur cheart na cundethe nach ramórán chorbe COVID an. Beidir go bhéidir iad sin oscail suas níos luachta ná na cundachaí eile. Ach camidir bheith anchúramach go deo in cearta de Joe má hagan rá geile be se úfas.
Okay, well look at gur míle maith go bhfucha as felling in soch in Jov agus Sarah Vaughan mé sibh. Ger, if I was to ask you, out of that 1980 campaign, if there was one moment that stands out for you as the positive, the greatest memory of that entire campaign, the one that you'll bring with you for the rest of your days, is there something in particular that stands out for you?
My speech, yeah.
That we haven't heard yet. We'll have to get that into the programme.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Joe?
I just might say about that.
Joe, besides, it's been a pleasure to meet Joe. I haven't seen him for a while, and I knew going. So you couldn't beat Joe when he said that 2 weeks before, and but it was such a great honor. It was such a great honor for me to get my hands in the Sam Maguire, and it's only now when you're inside in the middle of that you don't appreciate it because you're in the bubble. But now, 40 years later, to have picked up the Sam Maguire, part of all the Kerry captains who won it, it has been a great honour to be able to say I did that.
And I was just going to say, Ger, that maybe the Kilkenny team of a decade ago and maybe the present Dublin team might have emulated Kerry, but for me they were magnificent. That Kerry team of that era, they were fantastic characters off the pitch as well. I was on a few All-Star trips with. But just to see them in full flow on the football pitch, I just thought they were the most magnificent team I have ever seen in any sport. I'm blessed anyway, lads. I'm blessed. If I was the young lad in the race course in the 60s and 70s watching Castlegar training and watching Galway teams being decimated, to eventually be good enough to win All-Ireland and to be a captain of a team that won the All-Ireland, I can't believe to this day that I had that honour and I had maybe the ability as a hurler to play with those lads. But it's a magnificent memory. But it is 40 years ago, and I don't think we should dwell on it too much. But just life ain't ever easy. But in our day, we were able to do that, and I thank God that. Thank God that we had the honour of it.
All right. Look, if you should go hauling mar chora vuchali, Gurmina Mahagov Galer, Ger Power Hiri, Joe Connolly, the Galliv and the captain Bokaho, Nede Gochto, Agus Sean Bombranach, Bamidla Rashli Varish, that she get Flora, and he had Pod Frela Ella, Fecher Nede, Ochto Hen, and Hedorella, Umsha Agus Uinger, Fadgadin. Townshend, Slon Tomlin.